Hi friends, good morning to everyone. In the last session, we have discussed the fundamentals in object-oriented programming. We have explained what is an object-oriented programming and the fundamental concepts, objects, classes, abstraction, data hiding, encapsulation, then inheritance, polymorphism, types of polymorphism, compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, then message binding, message passing, dynamic binding. These are the core concepts in object-oriented programming. In this session, I will focus on how to program in C++ language. Since C++ is said to be the partially object-oriented programming language, that means we can write a C++ program similar to a C program without having the object-oriented programming concepts. Even C++ is said to be a bottom-up object-oriented programming language because in C++ we need to define the classes first. Main functions will be defined at the end of the program. Inside the main function, we need to create objects. Objects are responsible for calling the corresponding member functions or variables. So the flow of control starts from bottom of the program, from where right the control is transferred to call the member functions of the classes, which are defined at the top of the program. That's what C++ is said to be a bottom-up programming approach. C is also a structured programming language. In this session, I will focus on how to program in C++, similar to that of C language, that is as a structured programming. Let me share my screen. To enter into write a C++ environment, we can write enter in write any of these environments. For example, Turbo C++ or Visual Dev, right? Are using Linux systems or C++ environment, whichever is. Here, right, I am using this version, Borland Turbo C++ version 4.5. We can easily install this version. It comes right nearly 30 MB. Decide right the type of operating system right we have. Based on that, download the complete files, installation files. Then right extract it and click setup.exe file. Automatically the version will get installed in your machine. So this is similar to writing a C right as well as C++ programming. The environment right editor is common for both C and C++ programs. Now this is the editor. Here you need to edit the code. First I use this one, a command line. Is the editor visible? Are you seeing this editor?
Yes, sir.
Let us see our first simple program. As far as your syllabus is concerned, the core concept of object-oriented programming, starting from class object, is covered from the second unit onwards. So just to have an idea, how to write C++ programs similar to C language. That means as a structured programming. So for that, right, let us practice, right, some concepts in the first unit. After the completion of these things, right, writing several C++ programs similar to a C language program, writing functions, overloaded functions, right, that is the polymorphism, and learning, right, something in the first unit. We will be moving on to the second unit, right, using object-oriented programming approach. But anyhow, in the exam point of view, right, you need to learn the object-oriented programming approach. But some prerequisites to do that, we are going to try to solve the problems using a C language style. So let us learn, right, something in C++ with respect to the C language style for some 2 or 3 classes. After that, right, we will be moving on to the complete object-oriented programming style. Of course, right, this is the partially object-oriented program because here we like to follow the same top-down programming approach. First simple program, then I type hash into IO stream.h. I write int main opening and closing curly brace, cout less than I welcome to learn C++ language. Semicolon. / end of the program. If you're thorough in, right, the concepts of a C language, switching to C++ is very easier. Now see, this is the first simple C++ program in which the first line is the command line, / first simple program. You know that commands are ignored by the compilers. The purpose of the commands are to introduce the program readability, to enhance the program readability, right? For what purpose the program has been written. To understand that, we can provide several commands. Like C language, we have 2 styles of commands. One is a single line command. Single line command. It starts with these characters, / characters. Following these characters, whatever you type, that line, right, all are completely ignored. Second one is a multi-line command. For example, this is a multi-line command in C++. This example, right, focuses on, say, top-down programming approach. Top-down programming approach for C++. The command that closest here. Hope you understand. First 2 commands are single line commands. This is a multi-line command. Whatever the characters, right, here enclosed in between this / and / characters are ignored by the compiler. For example, right, we have provided the message. This is a multi-line command in C++. Right, return in 2 lines. And in the third line, we have written top-down programming approach for a C++. Then the command is closed here. /* ends with //. The same right commands are already you learned in a C language. Now coming to the main part right here, #include iostream.fetch. #include, right, this is said to be a preprocessor directive. So during the running of the program, right, before that, right, you have to compile the program. So what kind of header files are necessary? That should be included in the current application. So this should be defined as a preprocessor directive #include. Similar to that of a C language. In C language, we have used #include stdio.h, standard input output header file. Here this stands for input output stream header file. This is input output stream header file. This can also be written like this: #include system IO stream.h greater than, or #include some space shift insert properties. Okay, #include space iostream.h, or #include, right, some space, edit, copy, shift insert #include space iostream.h. All are correct versions written. So whichever the style you prefer, right, you can use it. Let me comment out these things. // These are made as commands. So this is a C++ language header file. So what the header file says, all the functions which are defined in iostream.h, that is input output stream header file, are going to be accessible in the current application, say file1.c. Input stream, output stream, right? Even in C++, right, you can find two kinds of header files. One is iStream and another one is OStream. You want to learn the help, right? Here go to this help option, type here iStream, I type, pressing enter. We try to write, check it, the proper version is not installed here. iStream, right, you can find, right, that is one of the class. Likewise, you can find, right, OStream. OStream is one of the class. Combining the features of iStream and OStream, right, the features of input output are merged into, are inherited, right, in a single class. So iostream, right, just inherits the features from iStream and OStream classes. That is input stream and output stream classes. Inheritance is applied here. iostream.h. Similar to hash include stdio.h. Next, coming to this line, int main. Main is a function similar to a C language function. Program execution begins at the main method. Here these are the parameters of main method. Even right, you can pass some command line arguments to the main method, right? As of now, I don't want to show how to pass the command line arguments. I show it later. So similar to the of C language, right? Main program execution begins here. Here the int which says that some values returned from the main function. Or if you remove, write this int, simply write main or void main, no problem. So int main, which indicates that the function is going to return some value to the calling apples. So at the end, right, we require the usage of return statement, say return 0 or return 1. Now have a look into right this cout statement. What is cout? Cout is an object of output stream class. What is cout? Cout is an object of output stream class. Cout is an object of output stream class. That is OStream class. Using the object, we can call the functions. So here, using the object, we like to put some message to the standard output device. Standard output device is screen or monitor. So to output write something into the standard output device, we need to use the less than operator. The less than operator is said to be put to operator. It's write to operator. Another name is data. This is said to be insertion operator. Put to or insertion. That inserts, right? The operator inserts something into the standard output device. Standard output device is screen or monitor. So the general form of this operator with cout object is cout less than, we can use a variable name. Cout less than, we can use string values that are enclosed in between opening and closing double quotes. String message. It encloses in opening and closing double quotes. So cout var or cout write string message or including right cout string message and variable, right? That is possible. We can cascade the less than operator in a cout statement. Another purpose of less than operator is this is also a bitwise. Bitwise. What is the name of the operator? Left shift operator. Because this is bitwise left shift operator, individual bits are shifted right one bit position to the left direction. So this is equivalent to right multiplication by 2. Opposite is right bitwise right shift operator, greater than operator that performs the integer division by 2. We check it right later. So as of now, right, just to have a look into this cout statement. This is similar to printf I something, right, message. So in C++, right, simply use the output stream object cout, then the operator, right, less than, inserts an operator. What you need to insert into the standard output device, that should be clearly mentioned. So here we have followed the style, cout string message. Some string message is given. We like to output, right, the string message into the standard output device. Say hi, welcome to learn C++ language. Then cout, right, less than some message. This is one executable statement or instruction, executable instruction in a C++ language. All executable statements must end with a semicolon. So you need to introduce a semicolon at the end. Only one output statement is provided here, just a welcome message enclosed within opening and closing double quotes. For int main, right, since we use int, right, we need to return some value. Say the value is returned to the operating system. So one integer, right, say 0 is given. You can use any integer. Return 0, minus 1, 2, 3, right? Whatever it is. The value is returned to the calling place. Then have a look into, right, this opening and closing curly brace. This defines the block of code. That means opening curly brace defines starting scope. Opening curly brace defines the starting scope. Closing curly brace here, this defines the ending scope. So where scope starts here. This corresponds to a function name main. So main, right, is defined within this opening and closing curly brace. So any statements, right, the number of statements that are defined inside this opening and closing curly braces form the code block of a main function. You can have, right, more than one executable statements. Since this is a function, you want to have a single executable statement inside the function. That statement should be enclosed within the opening and closing curly braces. So similar to, right, C language, main function, right, starts here in the opening curly brace. Function scope ends or closes here in the closing curly brace. So this is the ending scope of main function. This is the starting scope of main function. Finally, right, we have defined, right, one command line here, / end of the program. Wherever you require, you like, you can introduce the commands in a reasonable way, so that when the program is viewed by others, right, they can easily learn that, understand that the purpose of the program, right, for what purpose the program has been written. So then and there, right, whenever you introduce variables, functions, defining the new logics, right, properly introduce the comments in terms of a single line comment, or if required, use the multi-line comments. So this is the first simple C++ program. Now let us save the file as something, right, file name .cpp, file save as For example, I save the file CAXX1. Automatically, the extension is taken as .cpp, right? Whichever is even a C language or CPP, you need not worry about. Here, the compiler it compiles for both the C as well as C++ programs. After the file has been saved, next step is to compile the code. So to compile the code, right, press F9, or you can directly press Control F9 to run the program. Let me press F9 for compilation. It shows that, right, the total number of lines is 30. Then warnings 1, right, ignore that. Then errors 0. So okay, the file has been compiled successfully. To run the code, press Control F9 or go to this debug option. Click Control F9. You will get the resultant window here. The resultant window is Hi, welcome to Learn C++ language. The message is okay. Since we have provided the message here, Hi, welcome to Learn C++ language. Same is displayed here. Still the window is an inactive one, right? If you want, you can close it, right? And you can rerun, press Control F9, you will get the resultant window. Understand or not? Having any queries in this first C++ program?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, right, let us define, right, the cout statement, right, in a better way. File, new, cascading cout statements, hash include IO stream.h. Whichever the style you want, you can use it in double quotes or hash include less than IO stream.h, then greater than. All are correct. Then try to use this form, right? In here, right? I write cout. Hi, how are you? Semicolon. Cout. I am good. Semicolon. Cout. How are you studying? Semicolon. Cout. Well, then return say 0. Closing curly braces. Let me save the file as right, simply pressing F2. This is a better environment to learn C++, right? If you like the Linux environment or Visual Dev or some other thing, some other environment, no problem. To try to use it. Let me view the file as CX2. Now I like to write compile the code. In this, right, several cout statements are returned, right? One following another one. First, let us compile. No compile time errors are there. Control F9. Have a look into this output. First line, hi, how are you? So, okay, shown. Second, right, I am good, right? The result is appended. Third one, Shiv, how are you studying? Right? The result is appended with the previous output. Well, right, a semicolon, of course, right? Appended with the previous output. This is a 4-line message, right? In case if you want to output these 4 lines into a single one, you can also write in a single cout statement, cout less than. For example, here I write cout less than edit paste hi how are you, then removing this I am good, removing this how are you studying, removing this well, that's all. In this case, I like to write to separate these output from this output. So I introduce one new line by writing this way: cout less than slash n. Slash n, right, as a backslash character which forces the output into a new line, so that hereafter whatever the output you are displaying, printing, will get displayed in the new line. Let me save the file and pressing Ctrl F9, we can see the result. Hi, how are you? I am good. How are you studying? Well, the same result is shown in the next cout, that is the second style of a cout statement. In case, right, if you want to nest, right, cascade these 4 statements into a single one, this can also be done using this way. Edit, paste, cout, hi, how are you? Then I cascade the next string less than, I am good. Then less than, how are you studying? Less than, say when. Then at the end, right, one semicolon is introduced. To separate, right, the second style from this third line, third style's output, I introduce another slash n here. Slash n semicolon. File, save, Control F9. Yeah, opening and double quote is missing here. Why missing that? That is a problem. I say Control F9. You can see the third style are also producing the same output. Hi, how are you? I am good. How are you studying? Well, understand or not? Understand? This is nothing but cascading, nesting the cout statements. Cout, right? Something. Then less than. If you put less than, after this output, next you want to write cascade nest something. That means uh, the same cout statement. You do like to write print multiple outputs. So this is one style, right? If you use the multiple cascading of statements or multiple cout statements into a single one. Simply said to be nesting of cout statements and cascading cout statements. Another one, have a look into write this cout slash n. This simply write forces the control to print the output in a new line. For example, here considering this one, if you want to split this into your 4-line outputs, what is the solution? Let me write this first. Copy using one slash and pistol. Shift ensure. Hi, how are you? Then at the end, what you have to do? You have to use slash in case if you want to post the output into a new line, then slash n semicolon. How are you studying? Listen, double quotes, slash n semicolon. Then well, okay. In this case, what happens? Each cout statement tries to print the outcome in a separate line, that is in a new line. Control F9. Here after the third slide, right, you can see the message, hi, how are you, here. Then because of the slash n, output is forced to write a new line. Say in a new line, it shows I am good. Then because of the slash n, the next output is drawn in the new line. Say, how are you studying? Then the slash n forces the control to print right well in the next line. So this is a possibility, right, to introduce the new line characters. This is one possibility. Wherever you want, right, you can also introduce the new lines. For example, copy the same code, right, would also be returned like this. Shift insert. Here, I do like to remove this cout statement. Simply write in a double quote. I use here slash n, and this is removed. Then here, right, I introduce slash n to print I am good in the new line. Then if I want to print, right, how are you studying in a new line? Many possibilities. Here I can write slash n before h, or I can use right after good slash n. Here I type slash n after good. In this case, this is similar to introduce the new line a character. So how are you studying? This will be printed in the new line. After this, right, we expect to print right well in a new line. Here, for example, I use slash n. So in this case, like same output is obtained. Control F9. See the last two slides. I am good. How are you studying? Well, right? Then, hi. How are you? I am good. How are you studying? Well. So last 4 lines and the previous 4 lines, the outcomes are same. Another thing, right? Here in a simple cout statement, yeah, you can also use slash n, right? Wherever required. For example, here I type shift insert cout, hi, how are you? I put right slash n here itself. Then I am good. After I am good, I like to use slash n. Then how are you studying? Slash n. After well, right, there are no lines to be output. So let us keep first it is. So first slide, this is the second slide, the third slide. Let us check it by pressing Control F9. First 4 lines, these are second 4 lines. Then last 4 lines, have a look into here. After printing slash and well in a new line, Then cout, hi, how are you? Because of there is no new line characters to be placed here. This hi, how are you? This is joined with the current outcome. So slash bell, there is a current outcome joined there. Hi, how are you? Is shown with this line bell. If you want to force right here to print hi, how are you in a new line, we have to introduce slash and here. File, save, control F3. Now you can see first 4 lines, second 4 lines, and the third 4 lines. These are common one. All are providing the same purpose. Having any queries?
No, sir.
Likewise, right, if you want to write a print a value, let me write something in the code itself. Suppose int x is equal to 100. When you learn C++, right, you try to compare the features from C language so that you can easily update the concepts in C++. In C language, right, the important restriction in a variable declaration is whenever you want to declare a variable, the variable should be declared at the beginning of a function definition. Whatever is the function, either a main function or a user-defined function. Am I right? Variable should be declared at the beginning of a function definition. In case if it is a main function, variable should be declared at the beginning of main, that is the top of main function, inside the main function first. In case if it is a user-defined function, variable should be declared right at the beginning of a main function section, sorry, beginning of a user-defined function section, right? That is a rule. Here, right, in the same example, please notice that we have introduced several cout statements. Following that, one integer variable is declared. Int x is equal to 100, and the variable is initialized to 100. So this is said to be dynamic declaration and initialization of a variable. Dynamic declaration and initialization of a variable. So in C++, wherever you need dynamically declare a variable and initialize a value. Simply saying inside write a for loop in C language, for I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. That I should be declared right at the beginning of the function definition. Where in C++, you can write for int I is equal to 0, say I less than 10, I plus plus. So dynamically inside the for, within a scope of for, we like to use a variable I. So here, wherever you need to declare a variable and dynamically initialize a variable, say x is 100. That is the advantage in C++. C++ supports dynamic declaration and initialization of variables. Wherever you need, you can dynamically declare and you can initialize the variables whenever required. Now, if you like to print the value of x, one can write cout less than x. One thing right before this, let me introduce one new line character cout slash n. The cout slash n, right? This is also same as a manipulator. Cout less than endl. Endl is a manipulator, right? That is a function, right? Instruction directly given to the standard output device, so that endl, right, that is the end of line. That means the next output should be returned in the new line. So both versions are same, cout less than slash n and cout less than endl. In case if you prefer to type E and DL, right, using the keyboard, instead of typing double quote slash n double quote, you try to prefer this type. So now let us print the value of x. So if you print Cout less than x, what happens? The value of x is output. In case having another variable, int x is equal to 100, comma y is equal to 200. If I type Cout less than x, Cout less than y, this is same as Cout less than x less than y semicolon. To separate that, to understand the differences, here I try to use one new line output Cout E and DL. Let me save, right, and show you. So let me have a look into this outcome of the program. Up to this, right, you are already okay, right? How are you doing, right? How are you studying well? Now have a look into, right, after well in the output. Here I am pointing. You can notice that two blank lines are there. These two blank lines corresponding to these two Cout statements, Cout slash n, then Cout E and DL. First Cout slash n, right, results in this blank line. Second Cout E and DL, this results in the blank line. That's what two blank lines are output in the output or outcomes. Then having this declaration x is 100, y is 200. Next output is clearly outputting the new line Cout x. X is 100 output. Then Cout y. What happens? What is the purpose of Cout here? You are not forcing the output, right, to print in a new line. So the value of y is printed in the same line itself. After 100, 0, 0, it seems, right, next 200, a 2, right, is to be printed in the same line. So it seems, right, 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0 as a single integer. Same thing is output using a single Cout statement, as we have written here, Cout. Writing several outcomes, right, in a single line. Here Cout less than x less than y, same as Cout less than x, Cout less than y. This is to be cascading of the Cout objects or the Cout statements. So the last line also prints the same outcome as 100, 200, right? This is same as, right, seeing as a single integer. In case if you want to see the or view, right, something, I'm leaving the spaces, right, for just understanding this. If you want to write separate the outcomes, what you have to do, there are different ways. One possibility here, edit, copy, edit, paste, Cout x, then after printing x, I can introduce one space, Cout less than, double quote, one space, double quote. Even write the space, right, can also be right combined here, the Cout x, then less than, one, a single space. So in this case, what happens? The value of x is printed, control F9, value of x is printed. Have a look into the last few lines. X is 100. Then this prints one blank space in the same line. So one space of output. Then the value of y is printed in the same way, 100, 200. This is same as, right, in different ways you can write it. For example, I try to write another possibility. Shift insert Cout x, instead of this one, shift delete, insert cout x less than double quote space double quote semicolon. So in this case, what happens? The value of x is printed, then one blank space is printed using the same cout statement. Then it seems 100 blank space. Value of y is printed. Y is taken as here printed in the same way at 200. Otherwise, like we can use this type: edit, copy, edit, paste, cout less than x, less than one space, less than y. So we have cascaded, right, printing the variables x and y and space in the single cout statement. Here also we can see the same outcome: 100 space 200, lost 2 lines outcome. E and L, right? 100 is printed in the new line. Then the value of x is printed 100. Then one blank space. Then the variable, right? Y is output. So just to have a look into, right, these styles: cout less than x, cout less than y. Multiple cout statements are returned, cascaded, nested in a single cout statement conveniently for a better way, like this cout less than. So understand clearly, in this case, only the value of variables x and y are printed. Suppose one likes to print what is x and what is y, including the comment x is 100, y is 200. In that stage, right, one can write this way. This is one possibility: cout less than double quote x is equal to double quote less than x, then less than. I like to leave one space. So one space y is equal to double quote less than y. That's all. In this case, what happens? Have a look into lost cout statement. First, x is equal to, this is a string message. Anything that you are enclosed within the opening and closing double quote is said to be a string constant, literal, string literal. That is outcome, output as it is. So x is equal to, this will be output. Then less than, right? The insertion operator inserts the value of x into the standard output device. The value of x is printed, so it seems, for example, 100. X is equal to 100. After that, right, we like to introduce one space. Whatever the spaces, right, whatever you are having inside this opening and closing double quote will get printed. So it seems one space, then y is equal to the value of y is output. So in this case, we have the better outcome: x is equal to 100, y is equal to 200. This is one possibility. Or even, right, you can write this way: cout less than b and dl less than x is equal to less than x less than. I use right slash t, then y is equal to less than y, then semicolon. In this case, control F9, file, save, control F9. We can see the second line, that is a lost line. X is equal to 100. Because of cout E and DL, right? The manipulator forces the output in a new line as x is equal to, right? Then the value of x is printed 100. Slash t, you might have seen, right? The horizontal tab, right? skips right 4 spaces here, then y is equal to y. The value of y is output. So these are the cascading statements. So have a look into these examples. If you want, you can print directly the value of a variable. If you want, write the string message with the value of a variable, you try to follow this style. And this can also be written in several cout statements, but try to write it right in a single cout statement so that you can easily minimize the number of lines. Likewise, right, we can have another function opposite to cout, that is cin. Cin, right, is object of standard input. Cin is the object of iStream class, right? So Cin receives the input from the standard input device, that is keyboard. Using the keyboard, right, we can provide values. Those values can be assigned to the corresponding variables. So Cin is an object of input stream. Cout is an object of output stream, right? So in this session, right, we explored the way of writing top-down C++ program, and we have explored, right, what is a cout statement and the concepts in, right, a cout statement, declaring or defining, right, printing values of variables, right, values of variables with messages. Up to this, right, you try to go through. If you find, right, any issues, right, you can ask, right, even if you have any queries, you can ask. Have any queries, doubts? The next session, right, we will focus on a Cin object, and then, right, we will see, right, several examples, right, problems. We'll solve several problems using Cin, cout, and basic control statements. As far as control statements are concerned, right, they are, right, control statements are, right, same as that of C language. The control statements for, while, do, while, right, a switch statement, if it's conditional control, unconditional control statements, right? Those are same as the C language statements. So you can easily program even the problem, right? You can easily write the code in a C++ language. So with this, right, let me wind up this session. Now it's time for you to ask your queries. Please ask your queries if you have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I post the program in the GCR. Please go through it.